wow, it's a inspirational trailer, right? Okay, I bet when you watch this trailer, you really wanted to rush to the cinema and watch, or go download the movie for you to watch. Okay, so for those who haven't watched it lah. Okay, so Ola Bola is a very is based on a true story, and besides being made into film, it also have a version of a musical of it. Okay, so check it out. But for today, what we're going to do is we are going to write a film review. Okay, so your first question: do you go to the cinema often? Well, before the pandemic, I mean. Okay, if it's now, I don't think there's lots of you who gets to go to the cinema, but instead you bring to the cinema to your home. Maybe you watch Extra first at home, or you have Netflix account, but you get to watch movies. Okay, so what kind of movies do you like? There's lots of genres. Maybe you like action, or you like comedy, adventure stories. Depends. It's up to you. Okay, so out of all the movies you watch, what influences you the most when you want to choose a film to see? Okay, whether it is the artist who, whether it is the actors starring in it, or the trailers like Ola Bola just now. It's inspiring, it pumps you up, you really wanted to watch the movie. Or you go to the film reviews. Okay, reviews from those who have watched the movie, and when you read it, you think that it is worth watching. Or uh, based on your friends recommendation. Okay, so think about. But for me, I think it's all. Each one of these elements contributes to my interest in going to the cinema and watch the movie. Okay, now for today, what we're going to do is to write a film review. Okay, now this is actually taken from your textbook, Full Blast 4. Okay, let us read it together. Username Ahmad Kumar, Ahmad underscore Kumar underscore 15. Okay, Ola Bola is a Malaysian film directed by Chew Keng Kwan. It is a sports film which stars JC Chi as Chow Kok Kiong, the captain of the national football team of Malaysia in 1980, and Bron Palare as Rahman, a would-be sports commentator and a friend of Chow's. The film is set in 1980, and it is inspired by the true story of how the Malaysian national team made it to the 1980s Olympics. It narrates the stories of the players who have to overcome obstacles and personal issues on their way to success. It's highlight the main match between Malaysia and South Korea, in which Malaysia wins and qualifies for the 1980 Olympics. Okay, if you look at the first two paragraphs, right? Okay, the first paragraph, it gives you a background, uh, some sort of a background lah. Okay, the first paragraph also shares with you the title of the movie that is being reviewed, which is Ola Bola. So what is a Ola Bola? Ola Bola is a Malaysian film. Then in the first paragraph also, it talks about the director, the actors. Okay, there's two, JC Chi and Bron Palare. So when you read the first paragraph, you would know, you would have some background information lah. You have some background information on the movie. Okay, in the second paragraph is more of a synopsis. Okay, And in this synopsis, it tells you that the film is set in 1980s. Okay, if you look back at the trailer, you would notice all the indications that the director had made to show that the story it is actually in 1980s. Okay, if you look at the fashion style, you look at the jerseys, the Malaysian jersey, if you look at the funfair, their hairstyles, and even the vehicles that are shown in the trailer or in the movie, it is all set in 1980. Okay, so in this second paragraph, it talks about the synopsis, and we also know that Ola Bola is inspired by a true story. Okay, how the Malaysian national football team made it to the 1980 Olympics. Okay, in the third paragraph, you will talk about the special features of the film. Okay, what makes this film interesting to watch? What are the things that you as a what are the things that you can expect when you are watching this movie? Okay, so the reviewer wrote about the special feature, which the careful attention to detail in order to make the 1980 setting look authentic. Okay, so this story is actually being made in the year 2016. Okay, it was out in 2016, so I'm sure it was made a few years before. But how the director and the production team is able to produce a set that shows the 1980 setting is being commended on. Okay, and then it really helps the development of the character story. Okay, if you remember in the trailer, there's a character who is from a family of rubber tapper. Okay, so you can look back and check who is it. And then in the third paragraph also, it talks about the moral values. Okay, so we have the special features. So this one is the setting. And then the reviewer also talks about the moral value. What are the values that you can learn, that you can get from this inspiring movie? Okay, so the writer says that it is a film which teaches us to never give up. It shows how important it is to put differences aside and work together to achieve a common goal. Okay, the last paragraph is whether you are recommending or not recommending this movie to the readers. Okay, so for this particular review, he said, I found this film very entertaining. So if you look at this word entertaining, you would know that it has a positive review. I think it should be seen not only by sport lovers but also by anyone who is looking for an inspirational story. So this writer has given you a positive feedback, and he also shared the reason of why he had recommended the movie. Okay, so if you look at this review, overall it is 4 paragraphs. And then when you are writing a review, you should also have 4 paragraphs in your review. Okay, what about the number of words? Okay, in the exam, the number of words required for you to write a review is 200, between 200 words to 250 words. Okay, so I have counted this review. Here, this review is approximately 200 words. Okay, so how do you count the number of words in English? For English, it's a bit different from Malay, from the Malay language. For the Malay subject, you count each and every word individually. Okay, for example, in the first paragraph, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so if you notice here, even Ola Bola and Chiu Keng Guan is actually a noun, is a proper noun, and if it's in Malay language, in a Malay subject, it is counted as one. But for English, each word is counted individually. Okay, so Ola Bola is 2, Chiu Keng Guan is 3 words. Okay, clear. So I hope that you're able to count the words correctly lah. Okay, moving on. Let's go back here. Okay, so in which paragraph does the writer express his or her opinion of the film and make a recommendation? Okay, there's 4 paragraphs in the above review. Which is it? Yes, it's number 4. Okay, here. Gives opinion of the film. Okay, what about B? A short description of the plot and setting. A short description about the plot and setting is here in the second paragraph, which is a synopsis, or you also say that this is also the plot. Okay, and then it talks about the setting. Here in the 19, the film is set in 1980. So for B, this one is paragraph 2. What about C? Give general information about the film. Is it paragraph 1 or 3? Yeah, correct. It is paragraph 1. So paragraph 1 gives you a general information about the film. Okay, if you look at in the first paragraph, again, the reviewer shares information about the title, the director, and also the actors. So after you have read the first paragraph, you would know some background information of the movie. And then the last one, comment on different features of the film. So in this case, the reviewer talks about the setting and also the moral value. Okay, so for commenting on different features of the film, it is the third paragraph. Okay, let's move on. What is your favorite kind of movie? So if you look here, there's lots of different genres. There's drama. So what is a drama? It is a show of realistic situation in a society and some inspired by true story. So this movie, In Pursuit of Happiness, is also based on a true story. I think you should check it out. Okay, so there are other genres in this. There are also other genres in movies like science fiction, comedy, action, horror, chick flicks, romance. Okay, so romance basically talking about what love is. Then we have fantasy, which involves magic, supernatural events and adventures in fantasy world. We have thriller. So thriller is any book or film or play that is exciting, that gives you, that makes your heart pump, that is full of suspense. So that kind of movie is a thriller. Or we have action comedy, where actors were known for their background in comedy began to take roles in action, like this movie Rush Hour. Then we have musicals, where a film have singing and dancing. We have adventures, animation, and documentary. Okay, so these are some more of the film genres: action, horror. Okay, so we also have western. Okay, so western is fictional stories based in the American West during the late 19th century. So they feature cowboys, horse riding, and gunfights. Then we also have historical, where they are based on real events in the past or sometimes just the time period. Okay, maybe it's takes on the Egyptian history, the Greek history. Okay, then the time period is only used as setting, and what and some of the most popular genres now is the hybrid genre. So it has a combination of different genres, like Pride and Prejudice because it is a romantic film, and a historical film because of the setting. Or we have action comedy. Okay, so just to name a few. Okay, moving on. So we are moving on to this module. So this module is actually prepared by Guru Cemerlang from SMK Perempuan Methodist Ipoh, Mr. Mohana. So thanks to him, we have this wonderful module. Okay, so how to write reviews. So a review is a short description of film, play, book, and etc. Okay, so actually in an exam, there are other reviews that you can write on. You can write on reviews of product, reviews on restaurants, review on books, on whatever under the sun that you can review. Okay, but in this case, we are going to review on a film. So a review is either formal or informal in style. Formal or informal meaning the language used. Okay, formal maybe you're writing for the newspaper, where you have to use more formal language, and informal maybe you're writing for a personal blog, where the language is more relaxed. Okay, so it is all depending on the readers it is addressed to. So what kind of tense that you are normally used in a review? It is present tense. Okay, again, a good review should consist of an introduction, okay, where you give all the background information of the story. So this is paragraph 1. Okay, main body consisting 2 or more paragraphs. Okay, so far we will take 2 lah. Okay, we have paragraph 2 here and paragraph 3. Okay, so what happens in paragraph 2? It talks about the plot or setting, like in our Ola review earlier. Then in the third paragraph, we will talk about the special features. Okay, and then lastly is the fourth paragraph, the conclusion. So in this conclusion is your recommendation, whether you recommend or do not recommend the film, book, performance, or whatever thing that you are recommending. So once you have already given your recommendation, you also need to give the reason why. Okay, so it can be, you can also give one reason or more. So depends. Okay, outline of review. So this is what we did earlier. Okay, general comments or special features. Then paragraph 4, recommendation and also reasons. Don't forget that. Okay, so these are the useful language review. Okay, some of the phrases that you can use to start your review. Okay, so when you're writing about the background, you can use this phrase, this starter. This well written, informative, fascinating. So is the adjective that you can use to describe the book or film or whatever things that you are reviewing. So write or choose a suitable adjective to describe your review. Okay, the film or story is set in. Set means the setting. Okay, time or place. If it's time, maybe in the 1980s, like Ola Bola, place in Malaysia. Okay, so this work is based on a true story, based on a historical event. Okay, so depends. Or you can also say that this story is based on a novel. Okay, next, main plot points of plot. The plot focuses on. Plot meaning the storyline. Okay, the plot focuses on. The story begins. The plot has an unexpected twist, meaning there's a surprise to the story. And then the last one, the film reaches a dramatic climax. When? What happened? Okay, general comments. It is. It here is referring to the story or the plot in general. Okay, so it is rather long, confusing, slow. Okay, use a suitable adjective to describe the plot. Okay, the cast. Cast here meaning the actors. The actors is excellent because the cast is weak because the script here is the dialogues. Okay, the script is dull. It's clever because it has punchline, for example. Then it has a tragic, surprising end. So it here is also referring back to the story or plot. Last one is recommendation. Don't miss it. It will change the way you see. Okay, so this you can show how it changes the perspective. Then it is well worth seeing. I don't recommend it because, then you give reason. Okay, let's try task 1. Okay, for the first task, what you have to do is to read the model essay and write down the topic for each paragraph. Is it an introduction, a conclusion, the main point, or again, there's 2 main points, right? 2 main points, 1 conclusion, and 1 introduction. So you have to choose. Task 2, what you have to do? There is plot and script. Script again is the dialogue. Plot is, or story is the sequence of events. Okay, there's lots of adjectives here. Okay, maybe the easiest way is for you to describe a dialogue is easier. Then you find the sequence of events. In task 3, what you're going to do is the same, listing the adjective that are used to describe characters, list them in the appropriate boxes. If you look at these adjectives that are listed here, there are positive and negative adjectives. So it is up to you to differentiate them. Okay, so you're going to fill in the suitable adjectives. Next, task 4. For task 4, you have to fill in the gaps with words from task 2 and 3. Okay, task 2 and 3 is the adjectives. Then match the sentences with the type of stories. Match sentences with the type of stories mentioned in the list. Okay, so the type of story here, there's thriller and horror, love story, detective story or mystery, action adventure, and science fiction. You fill in here type of story. Here you look for the adjectives in task 2 and 3. Task 5. Fill in the correct adjectives from the list before. So this is the list of adjectives. So you have to fill in the blanks with the most suitable adjectives. Task 6. Read the following book review and put the paragraphs in the correct order in the space given. So you have to rearrange. Okay, rearrange this with the correct order. Task 7. Okay, read the model book review below and identify the topic of each paragraph. Then choose the most suitable word from those on the right to complete each of the numbered spaces in the model. So these are the choices that you have. So you have to choose the best answer to fill in these blanks. Okay, so last but not least, task 8. Okay, task 8 for you is you have to update your answers in Google Classroom. I've already updated them. Then it is up to you to write them and upload the file for me to check. Okay, here, the editor of your school newspaper has invited students to send in review of a film. So what do you have to write? A film review they have seen recently, which would be interest to their fellow students. Write your review. Again, I would like to remind you, your review should be between 200 words to 250 words. Okay, so I think that's all. Thank you everyone. Assalamualaikum.